5, episode 19. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're all doing well out there. And it's the end of the week. It's Friday. Thank goodness. It's been a long week coming off of the 4th of July holiday. But here we are once again. And Troy, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. We just got done watching The Return of the Living Dead, Troy's first zombie movie. And the first time I got to watch this 4K over my shoulder, I've seen it many times, but first time on that 4K from Scream Factory, and it looks wonderful as usual. Just go over a few things we've done since the last time we were together. We took a trip to Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
And
Hi, Kurt.
hey, Kurt. We took a trip to Pennsylvania to visit some friends and family. We went to Hershey Park and had some fun there. My nephew Landon, my mom and dad brought my nephew Landon out. We had some fun at Hershey Park, and then we went and stayed with my parents. We got to go to Knoebels Amusement Resort. Had a lot of fun, and we had a party get together at my parents' house. I got to see my sister and her husband Kurt's new house. It was a very nice trip. We had a blast. Can't wait to do it again next year. And while I'm thinking of it, I want to wish a happy birthday to Brandon. Brandon's a really good friend. I've known Brandon for a few years now online, and he requested tonight's movie in honor of his birthday, which was last week or the week before. I'm sorry, Brandon, if I'm a little bit off on that. And also, I want to wish my parents a happy anniversary. Their anniversary was yesterday. 49 years married. Next year's the big 5-0, and I just want to wish them a happy anniversary as well. So yeah, we had a great trip home to Pennsylvania. We came back, and my parents, my mom and dad, and my nephew Landon came down for the 4th of July. I hope he's all had a great Independence Day. We had a fun one. We had a cookout, had some friends over, and lit some fireworks off. Had a couple alcoholic beverages, not the kids, obviously, just us adults, and it was a nice time. But then Sunday, we got to go see me and Troy, Dale_A from the Bat and Spider podcast. Shout out to those guys. If you're not subscribed to them, go over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and subscribe. Those guys are awesome. We went, and a couple other friends of ours, Nick and Kathleen and their two kids, and we got to see F1 in IMAX. And I can't recommend the movie enough. If you get a chance, see F1 on the biggest screen you could see it on. It's a really good film, and the racing scenes are awesome. What you say?
Yeah.
Troy really enjoyed it. We're actually going to go see it again tomorrow with a couple other friends of ours. It's a really good movie, and hopefully by the end of the week I get to go see Superman too. I think Sunday I'm going to go check out Superman. And next week we have a horror movie coming out. In the middle of the summer, we have the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, and I'm excited about that. We're going to go planning on seeing that maybe Thursday night or next weekend. We don't know yet. I got to coordinate with Dale_A, and we're going to go check that out as well. So let me know in the comments if you're planning on going to see the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt's back, Freddie Prinze Jr., the girl from Hey, Rich.
Hello.
What's up? Happy Friday. I'm sure you have a beer in hand because you have to after the work week, right? Yeah, so let me know down below in the comments if you plan on seeing the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. It drops next week. Let me know if you're going to go see Superman. I'm kind of excited about seeing the new Superman, checking that out. But again, F1 was legit. If you get a chance to go see F1 on the biggest screen possible with the best sound system, I highly recommend it. It's a really, really good movie, and some of the best racing scenes I've ever seen in a movie by far.
We should have saw it at the AMC. That had really good audio.
We saw it in IMAX and it was badass. But Troy, there's a Dolby Cinema over in the AMC, and he wants to go back to that. But here's the thing: I have a Regal subscription, so I tend to go to Regal all the time anymore. But hey, as part of the perks of being a subscriber, I get bonus points and I get money off of the popcorn and the soda and all that kind of good stuff. So we typically go to the Regal when we go to the movies. All right. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, when was the last time you guys saw The Return of the Living Dead? This is a film, before we get into it, I remember watching on TV. It used to be on WPIX 11 out of New York. They used to play the first one. and the second one, and obviously the first one was very heavily edited, especially with the naked dance in the graveyard scene. But I remember seeing it on TV a lot, and it wasn't until probably the mid 90s that I actually saw it R rated for the first time by renting it from the video store. I'd only ever seen it on TV, and then I finally rented it so I could see it in all its R rated glory. And it's a movie I've seen many, many times already. There's this one and the second one. I've seen the third one. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I know it has its fans of that film. And I didn't see the two newer ones they made. I know we have a remake coming out later this year that they released a teaser trailer for a couple months ago. I haven't heard anything about that since then, but we'll see what happens with that one. But the reason why, let's dive into this. The Return of the Living Dead. And let me know down below when the last time you saw it or what you think of this film as well. If you watched it recently, when was the last time you saw it? I don't know if it's streaming anywhere for free. I don't think it's on Tubi. It might be. I know the second one was on Tubi, but I don't know about the original. The Return of the Living Dead came out August 16th of 1985. It's rated R. It's an hour and 31 minutes long. Had a budget of $4 million, and upon release, it made a little over $14 million. The screenplay was co-written and directed by Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon had done a lot of things in his career. The man has since passed away. He started his career off as a co-writer on John Carpenter's first movie, Dark Star, in 1974, and he co-wrote Alien, the immortal Alien movie, and this is the other movie he's really, really well known for. This came about because this is kind of a sequel to George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, although not really. This was based on a book by... hold on, I can't even read my notes. What the hell's going on? I write my notes, and I have pretty good handwriting, but even I can't write my notes. John Russo was George Romero's producing partner and co-writer on Night of the Living Dead. And he wrote a novel sometime after that. Him and George couldn't come to an agreement on what to do with the sequel. They had two very different ideas. And if you've ever seen this film and George Romero's sequels to Night of the Living Dead, like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, they're very much different. And he wrote a book called Return of the Living Dead. And this was based off of that book. He wrote the original screenplay, and Dan O'Bannon rewrote it, and they made a movie out of it. But Dan O'Bannon wasn't even the first original director for this film. Tobe Hooper, yes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's Tobe Hooper was originally going to direct this film, and in 3D, but that never happened, and Tobe Hooper dropped out, Dan O'Bannon came in, and this was his first directorial debut. In this film, we got a nice cast here, especially our core four, not to steal anything off of Scream 6. Clu Gulager plays Bert. He owns a Unita medical supply company. And James Karen, these first two actors are sadly not with us anymore. What's going on?
That's fine.
Okay. Troy's my technical advisor, and he's monkeying around here, and it's freaking me out, man. Freaking me out. We got James Karen as Frank. Now, Clu Gulager is no stranger to horror. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 in 1985. And he was in his son's directorial film, Feast, in 2005. And I don't know if any of you ever saw Feast out there. I know, Rich, you saw Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, many times. And Kurt, you probably saw it as well. We also got Tom Matthews playing Freddy. He is a new hire at Unita Medical Supply Company. And next year he would be in Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And Don Calfa plays Ernie, the morgue attendant. And he's most famous after this for Weekend at Bernie's. He was the hitman in Weekend at Bernie's, and he's great here, and he was great in Weekend at Bernie's as well. And obviously, I would be remiss without mentioning, Feast is an interesting film. I have it on DVD. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think it's streaming on Tubi and some of the sequels. I think they made 3 or 4 of those movies, Kurt, if I'm not mistaken. I've only ever seen the first film, and that was the brainchild of that show Project Greenlight that was on A&E back in the day. There's Brandon. Hey, buddy, this is for you, buddy. And a belated happy birthday to Brandon. This is his request. The Return of the Living Dead, Troy's first time seeing it. I'll be remiss without mentioning Linnea Quigley, because famously she plays Trash. part of these kids. Oh, is it on Vudu for free, Kurt? I don't have Vudu, but I never checked it. I always go to Tubi's my go-to for free stuff. Oh, here's a little tip for you guys. I don't know if you're interested or not. I love werewolf stuff, werewolf movies. There's a show from the 80s called Werewolf that came out in 87. It was actually one of the first shows when Fox became its own network in 87. This was one of the first shows they aired. And I've been interested in watching it because Rick Baker did the makeup effects for it. Sorry, water went down the wrong pipe. Rick Baker did the makeup effects for it. Obviously, he's a legend. American Werewolf in London, yada yada, Thriller, tons of stuff. Legend in the makeup effects industry. That show is on YouTube for free, all 29 episodes. I'm going to go on a journey and watch this thing. I'm just letting you guys know, if you're interested in werewolf stuff, that show is all 29 episodes are for free on YouTube. So if you're interested in it, check it out. Back to the Return of the Living Dead. Now, Return of the Living Dead is really, truly kind of a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Just not as serious. I warned Troy ahead of time. This is more of a horror comedy. We haven't watched a horror comedy yet, right, Troy? I don't think we have at all.
Scream?
Well, Scream is kind of a horror comedy, but it's more of a slasher film with comedic elements. But this was an early horror comedy that, especially for the 80s, because up until this point, all zombie movies were pretty serious.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead. I mean, Dawn of the Dead has some fun stuff in it, but it's still a pretty serious movie, especially, I mean, there's very serious parts of that film. And then Day of the Dead came out after this, and that's completely dark. Probably one of the darker zombie movies, especially of the period. But this one sends it up a little bit. We're having some fun here. Some horror comedies has a carnage. Oh yeah, definitely has some carnage candy. Where most horror, Evil Dead 2 is technically a horror comedy too, and that goes for it. And that went out unrated. But yeah, I agree, Brandon. A lot of horror comedies don't give you the carnage candy. This one does give it to you. This one is basically, we're introduced to you need a medical supply company, and where Frank and Freddy are. Frank is basically giving Freddy the tour of the place. He's a new hire, and Bert had gone home. It's the 4th of July. It's the day before the 4th of July. And, Freddy has these friends that are waiting for him. They decide to go to the cemetery and party. And, Frank decides to play big balls. I'm going to show you something you've never seen before. He starts bragging about these canisters in the basement, from this outbreak that happened in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is how it ties into Romero's universe a little bit. And they go downstairs. Frank shows Freddy this, and he slaps the canister, and it releases the gas, and that's when shit starts going crazy. We get the cut in half dogs coming to life. We got that body in the freezer coming to life, and then Frank and Freddy aren't feeling so well, and they call Bert, who comes back to the warehouse, and now they dispose of the body. Well, they destroy it. Well, they think they destroyed it. It's still alive, and they're trying to figure out ways how to destroy it because they don't want to call the cops because it's not good for business, as Bert says. So Bert decides to take it over to his buddy Ernie that works at the mortuary across the street. And when they burn the bodies, as we all know, if you've seen this movie, things go from bad to worse because the gas goes up in the air, it rains, and all of a sudden the cemetery, everybody buried there comes back to life, and this is when the shit hits the fan. And basically what we have from then on out is just mayhem after zombie mayhem of paramedics getting eaten, police getting eaten, our people that are still alive trying to make it through, and pretty much at the end they get bombed with a nuclear explosion. And then the cycle starts all over again. And that's pretty much the Return of the Living Dead. Now, this is Troy's first zombie movie. And first horror comedy, really. So I'm going to give it to Troy and let him give you his thoughts up front. And then we'll get into some trivia, because there's some interesting trivia on this movie. And my thoughts on it and some of our favorite scenes. And I want to hear about your favorite scenes. What's your favorite zombie of the film? I pretty much know which one it's going to be. Because I know which one. I'm going to ask Troy right away what's his favorite zombie in this movie, and I have a feeling I know what it's going to be because it's definitely the coolest one of the movie. But Troy, since this is your first zombie movie, there's always a favorite zombie. Romero zombies always have a favorite zombie. What's your favorite zombie of the Return of the Living Dead?
Probably the tar one.
The Tar Man?
Yeah.
You like the way he looked, the way he moved, because
Yeah.
he looked all funky, the way his body was just kind of all loose and
I
that.
think you showed me a thing that a store was selling them, and you showed me them. They're like really expensive. They like we're gonna watch that movie. One day.
Yeah, yeah. The Tar Man. There was a figure. I don't remember what company put it out, but it is quite pricey because I don't think it's in production anymore. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's not being produced anymore. It goes for a lot of money. And before I ask Troy, the way they pulled that off when Frank hits the barrel, which I'm going to recreate for my Halloween display this year, by the way. Not the zombie, but I'm going to do like a toxic waste dump for my front yard. So I'm going to recreate that barrel for my front yard. It's more for me because I know what it is. I don't know how many people besides Dale_A is going to know what it is in my neighborhood, but I know what it is. It's going to make me smile every time I look at it. So to hell with everybody else. But the way they did that was it was a skull with a wax mask on it. And what they did was they put a heater on it to melt it away, to make it look like the skin's melting away. And when they did that, they had to keep turning up the heat because Dan O'Bannon kept screaming faster, faster, faster. And as the heat got closer to the glass, it wasn't planned, but that glass break that you see in the film when they cut right after the glass breaks, that was not originally planned. That happened because of the heat, and they decided to keep it in the movie. They do cut right after it, but it was a mistake. It just was a happy mistake. As we know, sometimes in movies that stuff kind of happens. Troy, what was these zombies are different than Romero zombies. You haven't seen a Romero zombie movie yet. I told you about Day of the Dead, which is my favorite of the Romero zombies. I know that's kind of a hot take. I love Dawn of the Dead, don't get me wrong. I love Night of the Living Dead, but Day of the Dead, for me, is my favorite Romero movie. Now, these zombies were different. They run. They could talk. What did you think of your first zombie movie?
It wasn't bad. I wish the zombies were more accurate.
Well, what Troy means by that, and I think I have to give a little context, was they didn't have a lot of money for this movie. And the background zombies, especially in the crowd scenes, when the camera's on the zombies, you could tell it's people with just generic makeup on. It's very evident, especially in 4K. You could see it plain as day. And the old VHS you couldn't tell, or on TV. But at 4K, it's like putting a spotlight on it. So that kind of bugged him a little bit because he's...
Well, it's because there was one scene, I don't remember which one it was, but it was like it was just a second where you could see, it looked like the guy's like
that was with
paint or whatever.
That was with the paramedics when they turned
but you could see
when they
his
turned the headlights on.
face.
Yeah, you can. I know, especially in 4K. Trust me, you couldn't see that.
Maybe you should get it. We should watch it.
But on the 4K, you can see everything. But overall, you liked it though. It was fun, right? Like you didn't mind the tone because the tone is a little different than most horror films.
Yeah.
They're like being goofy, especially Frank and Freddy. They're like screaming and just like yelling crazy shit the whole time. What do you think about the makeup effects? The ones that were made up. What do you think about like the half zombie?
Yeah, they definitely looked pretty good.
When she's talking and telling them why they eat brains and that half zombie obviously was a whole that was made by Tony Gardner. It was just a puppet. And he made it. He just got brought on to the production to help out with the makeup effects because he did the teeth for the Scuzz actor. They were friends, and he made the teeth for his audition. And Dan O'Bannon, he told Dan O'Bannon about his friend, and he brought him in to do some effects, and he ended up doing that effect, the puppet effect, when they tie her down to the table, and she's just cut in half. And it's a really well done effect, and it still holds up extremely well, even in 4K, which was always impressive. When anything ever holds up in 4K under that scrutiny, that's a pretty damn good effect. What did you think about the ending with the nuclear bomb? But then it doesn't really solve the problem. They think it does, but then everything goes back to the way it was. But what do you think about the ending?
Was not expecting it at all.
With them bombing the whole town.
Yeah.
Well, they only said they only bombed a couple square city blocks. Only 4,000 people died, I think they say.
Under 4,000.
Under 4,000. Like that makes it any better. We'll get back to Troy in a second. I've always liked this film because it's so, especially at the time, it was out of the box. It definitely went for broke. It's more the punk rock version of a zombie movie, especially with not just the music, but just the way the kids are dressed. It's definitely of the era for sure. And the Tar Man was always my favorite zombie. I mean, obviously, I think it's probably everybody's favorite zombie from this movie. It's the one they remember the most because it's such a cool design. And the way the actor and the makeup moves, it's just really cool. And although we don't get to see him all that much on screen. I mean, he's only on screen a couple minutes total. But he leaves an impression. And he's such a well-done, pulled-off makeup effect. Before we go on any further, please do me a favor. Hit the like and leave a comment. I know somebody's already commenting, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. For anybody that's watching that has never come to this channel, please subscribe. But hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. It helps with the algorithms on the YouTubes. Here is a little bit of trivia for you, and I think you'll find this interesting if you didn't know this before. Some of the extras were paid extra money if they would eat a real calf brain on camera. They went out and bought real calf brains, and if an extra was willing to eat it, they would pay them extra money for that. I don't think they could have paid me enough to do that, but people actually did it. So when you see some of the zombies eating brains, it was actually a real calf brain. And they just paid them a little bit extra money for that. And God bless them for doing it, because I don't know how much money I would need to eat one. How about you? How much money do you think you need one to eat one of those bad boys?
A lot.
Here's a fun one for you, and this has been debated for a long time, but I guess Dan O'Bannon admitted it in one of the audio commentaries for one of the old discs. Ernie, our morgue attendant. I guess there was more footage, but if you ever watch, like what's in the background, what he's listening to when we meet Ernie, when I introduce him on his Walkman, Dan O'Bannon has said that he escaped Nazi Germany. He was an ex-Nazi that escaped to America, and he was hiding. And if you pay attention to some of the stuff that Ernie is doing or what he has on him, the gun he carries is a Walter P38 German pistol. He's listening to the German Afrika Korps march song, Panzers Rolling in Africa, on his Walkman. It wasn't much more money, Rich. It was like an extra $25 or something to eat the calf brains. I'm like, that's not enough money. I don't know if there is an amount that you could pay me to want to eat that. Especially since they filmed this in the summertime, Rich. They couldn't have smelled very good at that point. So yeah, he's listening to the Panzers Rolling in Africa on his Walkman. That's just the music he's listening to. There's a picture of Eva Braun on the board behind him. A little salt and mustard to make it taste. Hey man, it might taste like chicken. You know, if it was ever like the end of days, I might eat stuff like that. But not just on a movie. I don't know. You got to pay me a little bit more than that. Yeah, there is. If you look behind Ernie in scenes on the corkboard behind him, there is a picture of Eva Braun stuck to the wall. So they do definitely give signs that Ernie may be an ex-Nazi that escaped Germany and is living in America as a morgue attendant. They never say it during the film. There's just little hints of it, and Dan O'Bannon sent a former audio commentary that was the case. And there probably was some footage filmed that might have answered those questions, because there was a work print floating around out there that was 20 minutes longer. I don't know if you could track it down or not. I guess at some conventions they have it available. I've never seen it. Not that I go to a whole lot. I go to Carolina Fear Fest. I don't make it to too many conventions, but they say there was a longer work print floating around out there of this film. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, in the early 90s, there was a longer work print version. It surfaced that ran 24 minutes longer than what the movie is now, because currently it's only an hour and 31 minutes. So it's a pretty quick watch. But yeah, there is a work print out there, and these things float around out there, just like the Halloween 6 producers cut back in the 90s. I remember buying that in the early 2000s off of eBay because I was obsessed with that movie and I wanted to see what the differences were. Now you can get it on, I have it on Blu-ray for Christ's sake, which we never thought we'd get. But these things always pop up where there's a different version of a film. I know in my video for Cobra, I said that there was a 2-hour version of that movie somewhere. And on the Blu-ray, the 4K that came out from Arrow Video, there's the TV version. And I saw it once back in the late 90s with some extra scenes. So there's always, I don't know if the 24 minutes from this movie will make it any different. I don't know if we'll ever see it. God knows if the footage even exists anymore besides out there on a VHS tape or a DVD somebody burned. But it'd be interesting to see for sure. I'm always interested to see a longer version of a film when the only version we've ever known is what was available to us on rental or on TV. George Romero had made an agreement with John Russo that they would make separate sequels with Romero using the Dead title and Russo could use Living Dead in his title. That's why Romero never used Living Dead after Night of the Living Dead. It was always Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. He never used Living. That's because they made an agreement and Russo was allowed to use Living Dead. That's why you never saw them cross over. The nuclear cannon at the end of the film was a World War II German howitzer. It wasn't really, he wouldn't fire a nuclear weapon out of that, but it was fun. I guess that was a German theme that Dan O'Bannon had going on with this film. Now, there's no doubt this movie has had an impact. It still lasted to this day. It wasn't a huge box office success, but it was one. It was, like I said, I'm taking you didn't like Diary of the Dead, Brandon. I don't really care for that movie either. I never saw Survival because Diary left a bad taste in my mouth, and I love Romero's movies, but Diary of the Dead is not a good film. I never cared for that. I have it on DVD. I think I've only ever watched it once. This is going way back. You weren't even born when this is going way back to DVD times. I don't even have it on Blu-ray. It was a DVD. So, yeah, I liked Land of the Dead, but after that, I'm not really into some of those later Romero films, unfortunately. And he was a master of horror, no doubt. But his later films before he passed were not what you would say are up to snuff with the rest of his filmography. I think the other thing is too, the cast wise, I gotta say, the kids are good, and and there's some good actors in there, but my favorite, what the movie really hangs on, is Clu Gulager, James Karen, Tom Matthews, and Don Calfa. Those four together are gold, and that's what makes this movie as good as it is. As much as the zombie stuff's fun, and Linnea Quigley running around the cemetery naked, which was transformative when I was a young man watching that. It was like, holy God, this is awesome when I first saw it R-rated cut. But really, it's those four actors that really make this film. Their chemistry, their interactions together, I just think they really sell it a lot. And, with a different cast, this movie might not be as remembered as it is or as good as it is. But I think, the zombie stuff's great. I love Tarman, and some of the gore and all that stuff is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But those four guys together really do sell it. They're really giving it their all. And Clu Gulager wasn't the original actor they wanted. He was like their fourth or fifth choice, and they said he was very combative. I guess Clu Gulager had from what I read, he had a tendency to be a little hostile sometimes, depending on his mood. But I guess Dan O'Bannon said, I didn't care if Clu would yell at me and tear me a new asshole, but he gave a great performance, so I didn't really care. I guess he was a little combative on set, like I said, but I love his performance. He's great here. He kind of reminds me, he's like a little bit of a Jimmy Stewart thing going on a little bit. But I always like Clu Gulager, and he's great here in this film as well. And obviously, he was a legend. He was in a ton of movies. Right up until he died, he was still acting. He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for Christ's sake, for Tarantino. Yeah, Don Calfa is great. And I love him in Weekend at Bernie's as the hitman. I love him in that film. His eyes are so expressive, Brandon. He just sells it, man. Just his looks says so much. Those four together sell it. And they made a Return of the Living Dead 2 a couple years later, and James Karen and Tom Matthews are in that film as different characters. They're grave robbers, but they're back in part 2 together again, which I love them in part 2 together. But it's always been so weird to me that they're in part 2 when they're very much dead in this movie. But that's a different discussion for a different time. Return of the Living Dead part 2. We'll get to that one eventually. I like part 2 actually. There's some fun stuff, and I only have it on DVD though. I don't have it on Blu-ray. There is no 4K. I don't believe there's a 4K. You know how much a Blu-ray is going for? You don't care. You're not spending it. You could spend your money and get it. God damn it. See, he just wants me to spend money. Brandon, he just wants me to spend money. Rich, help me. Send some money down. This kid is sucking me dry. No, just joking. Actually, we're going to go see F1 again tomorrow. We loved it that much. We're going to go see it again tomorrow.
With some of my school friends.
With some of his school friends and one of the fathers that's a friend of mine. We're going to go see F1 again tomorrow around noontime. I'm going to see Superman Sunday, hopefully. I will go see Superman Sunday.
I heard it's not that good.
I don't care. I want to see it. And then, again, like I said, I know you did last summer, comes out next Friday, not to get off of the Return of the Living Dead, because I've got to get Troy's rating here on this bad boy and give you my rating and talk some more stuff and tell you what next month's is going to be a surprise. Troy's excited. Troy's very excited about next month's Horror Talk Live. And when we announce what it is, you're going to know why. And we're going to talk about it. I promise. But, Troy, The Return of the Living Dead, what would you rate this movie? Oh, the score. Hold on. The score is great, Brandon. I love the theme, and I love the music throughout. It's used very, very well, especially for the tone they're going for. Like I said, it's like a punk rock zombie movie. Like, this is totally different than Romero's movies, which is the only way this was going to work. If you're going to try to ape Romero, you were going to lose. This is the only way they could go, and it works so well. And the music is great. I love that theme. The main theme is so good. Yeah, my dad was giving out 50s like they were free, Rich. I just spent it tonight at Apex Wings because we got to support the local place. I love that place. Okay, Troy, what would you rate Return of the Living Dead before we go my rating and get on to next month's offerings that we're going to have?
7.5.
7.5 out of 10?
Yes.
Okay, 7.5 out of 10. That's solid. That is solid. That's a solid rating. I'm glad he enjoyed it more than I thought he was going to. This younger generation, he's 13. He's like some of my stuff. But, sometimes with the older stuff, you never know how they're going to take it. But a 7.5 out of 10, I will take that, man. That's not bad. I would give the Return of the Living Dead a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for the Return of the Living Dead. Let me know what you would rate it out of 10. Or Letterboxd ratings. That's fine. I know I'm on Letterboxd. I know 5 stars, whatever you want to do. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I really like this movie. And the 4K is beautiful. This 4K from Scream Factory is beautiful. So if you like this movie, it's definitely worth the upgrade. It looks gorgeous. It sounds good. They ported all the special features over, so you get all that good content that was created before. But they did Scream Factory, as they usually do. They did a great job with this 4K. 10 out of 10 for Brandon. Brandon, you're my man. You're my boy, Blue. Yeah. 8 out of 10 here. It's a good score, Rich. I know you and I have watched this movie in the past together. They used to play the shit out of this in WPX 11 out of New York at Halloween time. Kurt, when the hell was the last time you saw this movie? I know you've seen it at some point, but when was the last time you saw it? All right. Next month, it was Troy's pick. This was Brandon's birthday pick. Again, happy birthday, Brandon. I know we're a little late, but this was for you, buddy. I hope you enjoyed this. We're not done yet, but I hope you're enjoying this live stream. Talking about one of his favorite horror films. Next month, I surprised Troy. Tonight at dinner, my wife and I had a discussion. We're going to... You don't remember it much, Kurt? You should rewatch it, Kurt. See what you think. We love you, Brandon. We appreciate you too. we're going to Universal Studios in September for a week, and we're going to Halloween Horror Nights one night. And they just announced yesterday. What did they just announce yesterday? What haunted house that they're going to have?
Terrifier 2?
Yes. Oh, great shirt, Troy. Uncle Richie's liking the Tom and Jerry shirt. Yes, they just announced yesterday they're going to have a Terrifier haunted house based off of the carnival at the end of Terrifier 2. If you've ever seen Terrifier 2, for you folks that have seen it out there. I've seen all three. I own all three. Troy's not seen any of them. Me and Dale _A, he just finally saw the first one, but I'm going to rectify the second one with him on August 2nd or 3rd. We're going to have an all-day movie marathon, and I'm going to sneak that in there.
Wait, I want to watch Terrifier 2 too.
You're going to be in Miami. We'll watch it, but you're going to have to watch it at a different time. You're going to be in Miami when we do that. So, my wife and I discussed it, and I let Troy pick whatever he wanted for next month. So, next month's movie, and you guessed it, is Terrifier. The original Terrifier. We are going in. Troy's been begging me, pleading with me, asking persistently to watch this film for how long now? How many months? A year? I don't know.
A long time.
It's been a long time. So yes, we are going to jump off the high dive into the deep end. Well, Troy is. I've seen this already a couple times. And we're going to do Terrifier next month. So if you haven't seen it, or it's been a while, get your rewatches ready, gentlemen and ladies out there. We'll get to the other ones, bud. We will get to the other ones. I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he's ready, Pop. But we're going to jump in and see. We will see if he's ready. He says he's ready. I don't know if he is. But I got to go ahead from my wife because that's what I was waiting for. So we're going to go in and see how he takes it. And I told him if he's okay with this one, we'll watch the other two before we go to Universal Studios. But for next month's Horror Talk Live, Terrifier is the movie. So if you haven't seen it or if it's been a while, join us in rewatching it next month. Yeah, Kathy, we're going deep. We're going for it. Yes, Terrifier. He's going to see what Art the Clown's all about.
I wonder what Mary's going to think next time we go.
Oh, I'm going to get screamed at for this one. Our friend Mary's not going to be happy with me. If she's not watching, or she'd be blowing up my phone right now. Because she warned me when we were home the other week that don't you let him watch that. Yeah, so we're going to go in. I'm going to let him watch all three before we go to Universal Studios in September. So he is a little bit of a journey to go through. Yeah, the first one is a perfect length because it's nice and short. It's quick. It's a meat and potatoes slasher film for sure, the first one. The second one, I love the second one and the third one, but there's definitely more story there. This is more of a just get to it, get to the carnage, and see if you can handle it. And this is definitely going to be a test for Troy.
I love you.
So yeah, we're going to do Terrifier next month. I'm going to peel the Band-Aid off. I wouldn't be doing this if my wife didn't give me the go-ahead, so we are going to go for it. I warned him. I warned him about this, and he says he's ready. Big 13-year-old. I'm ready for anything. So that is next month's movie for Horror Talk Live. Yeah, there's one scene in particular, Kurt, there's one scene in particular that I'm worried about, and I think you all probably know what that one is because it involves a hacksaw. Oh, the second one has such great music. Oh, my God. Yeah, so there's the third one, too, but yeah.
You should buy the soundtrack for the second one.
Jesus Christ. I agree with you, Brandon. The music in the second one's great. It's like great 80 synth score. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But yeah, we're going to do this one. It's a long time coming. I couldn't hold them off any longer, and especially with going to Universal announcing their haunted house, I might as well let him watch it so he knows what he's getting into because they said it's going to be one of their gorier haunted houses when we go. So he might as well see it so he knows what to expect. So yeah, Terrifier next month. I didn't think I'd be saying that so soon, but and then the next month will be my choice, and I have an idea what I want to do for September, so we'll see. No, we're not going to do Terrifier 2. I have some other ideas I want to do. I have a couple of things rolling around for September. Maybe The Prowler, maybe The Burning. We'll see. I have a couple other ones in mind for September. We'll see. Next month I will announce. I would love to set up a watch party, but I don't know how to do it. Dale knows how to do it through his Discord, but I've never done it, Rich. I would love to, or we could all watch it together. I can't do it on YouTube, obviously, for copyright reasons. I know, Brandon, I want to do The Prowler, but it's either The Prowler or The Burning for September. Those are the two I'm thinking about. And there's a third or a fourth one that I don't want to mention yet. There's a few rolling around in my head, but those are the two top contenders for September. Because we're going into spooky season. And I know a watch party. I got to ask Dale how he does it. I would love to be able to watch it with you guys. I know, but I don't know how to do it. Dale knows how to do it. I have to ask him. I need tech support. I don't know how to do it.
There's a way to do it.
Because you can't broadcast it. It has to be just like for people you invited because it can't be. I know you can do it.
There's ways.
Oh, The Burning is absolutely so underrated. So is The Prowler. They don't get talked about enough. I've always liked both those movies. And Troy's never seen them, and they're good slasher films. They're definitely good slasher films. So yeah, we're gonna do Terrifier next month, and I hope you all join us for next month. So I'll announce the date. Yeah, Dale's out to dinner. I think I'll talk to Dale about that. He'll help me set it up if we can do a watch party. I'll let you all know if we can make this happen, a watch party. We will make it happen. That's all right. You got to eat, man. I know you had a long work day. You got to eat. If I can make this happen, I'll make an announcement and let you know we can do a watch party. Leading up to that Friday, like do it the night before on a Thursday night.
Oh, we can make it happen.
Troy's confident he can make it happen. Well, you're supposed to be my tech support. You figure this stuff out. So yeah, we're gonna do Terrifier, which God help us. God help Troy. I've seen it a couple times, so I'm good. But
Can't be that bad.
we'll see what you think. We'll see what you think, man. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in terms of violence or gore, but it's
Oh, I know what you're referring to.
yeah, Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, I know. That's my go-to every time when you see it. Ask me what's a. Oh, you post. Let me check, Brandon. Let me check, man. It's $145. Yeah. Is this still for sale? That's what it looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
$145.
Get it.
You want to see your mother kill me? How much did you pay for that figure? $145.
Just tell her 20.
Oh, no problem, Brandon. Troy enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's just, what are you saying yes to, Rich? You going to send money to help me pay for that $145 figurine? I'll take donations, Rich. I take donations.
Pop might give a donation.
I accept donations, Richie. You can help out. Send it down on your private jet, man. I'm just joking. He knows I'm joking. Hey, what do you guys think? I got to throw this out here quick. What do you guys think they announced they're going to try to make Days of Thunder Part 2? Are you as excited about it as I am? I'm very excited about that prospect, especially if...
GoFundMe.
There you go. I got to buy the Tar Man, Kurt. Go fund my poor life habits. I'm excited about that. The prospects of a Days of Thunder 2, especially to let Kaczynski direct it, especially what he did with F1, I'd be all for that. We'll see what happens. I know they're working on a script for it and for Top Gun 3. I know this isn't horror related, but it was just on my brain. Let me know, too, even if I wrap this up, you can still comment. What do you think about this crap they're doing with the Jason universe now? Oh yeah, Rich. There's a potential watch party. If I figure it out, I'll let you know. We'll get it figured out, and we'll try to set something up. We'll do it like on a Thursday evening or something, and we'll watch it before the Friday stream. We will try to make it work, man. Troy's gonna have to do some research and figure it out because I don't know how to do it.
Dale can also.
I know Dale knows how to do it, but Dale's not available at the moment to find out. Well, they sell the rights for Friday the 13th, Brandon. I don't know if you've been. you might not know what's going on with it. And they announced this Jason universe. And they're working on a short film. Now, look, we haven't had a Friday the 13th movie since 2009, and this is just a Homer fan in me. I love the Friday the 13th franchise. I love Jason as a character. I just want a movie. They're working on a series with A24 going back with Mrs. Voorhees. And honestly, it's all just very, to me anyway, you might feel differently, and that's fine. It's all subjective, man. There's no judgment here. I don't care about any of that shit. I just want a Friday the 13th movie. I want to see Jason kill a bunch of people in creative ways. Give me some cool makeup effects. And give me a badass Jason movie. It's all I want. I don't need this TV show. I don't care about it. I really don't. I don't care about it. And this short film, I don't care about because people have already done really cool fan films on YouTube you can watch for free. Never Hike Alone. Check that out. It's a badass fan film. Well, I know. Either him or even Damien Leone, the director of Terrifier, said he wants to do a Friday the 13th movie. Like, give it to him. Give him like $10 million. Let him go crazy. Let him make a Friday the 13th movie. I don't know why they're dicking around. Like, they're doing a short movie and they're doing this TV show. It's like, what are you doing? And it sounds like they're trying to make like a universe. I'm sick of this universe shit. Just make us a fucking movie and give it to us. I don't know. Probably Evil Empire. I don't know why this is so difficult. You make a Friday the 13th movie for $10-15 million, you're going to make some money. It's guaranteed. You don't need a ton of money to make a Friday the 13th movie. $15 million tops. Give it to a talented director. Let him go crazy. You're going to make your money back and make a good profit. This isn't that hard. They're making it way harder than it needs to be, and that's the end of my rant. I'm just frustrated with the way they're handling this. It's just like amateur hour.
What about the Texas Chainsaw?
Well, those rights are up for grabs still. They haven't decided who's going to get the rights.
That's been going on.
I know. I think I mentioned this last month. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights are up for sale, and there's 4 or 5 interested parties in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights. Osgood Perkins, who made The Monkey and Longlegs, is interested in getting the rights through Neon to make a movie. Glenn Powell's production company is interested in the rights to make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and there's like 2 or 3 other people that are interested in making it, wanting to get the rights for. They're up for grabs. I guess they're in a bidding war. I don't know what's going to happen with it. They haven't announced anything yet, but that's another franchise that's potentially coming back. Again, I mean, this is going to be the third rebirth of the Texas, or 4th rebirth of the Texas Chainsaw, which I'm all for. If somebody's an interesting idea and they do it right, I'm all for it. I don't mind if you do it well and give me just a really good movie. I'm fine with you bringing me another Texas Chainsaw movie. I know the good ones are slimmer than the bad ones. We've had more bad than good, but I'm always up for one. If you give me a good one, let's do it. But the Friday 13th situation has me flustered. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. This isn't rocket science. This should be like the easiest slam dunk in the history of cinema, but they keep just dicking around and doing weird shit. So I don't know when we're going to get one. But
just to make a Texas Chainsaw, you just need a lot of gore.
Well, the first one wasn't that gory, if you remember.
But the remake and the sequel, that's like the only 2.
But I guess I should wrap this up. Hey, I want to thank you all for joining us. You took time out of your day to spend time with Troy and I. We appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy it. It's supposed to be hot down here. I hope wherever you are, it's a little cooler, a little more temperate. You can go out and enjoy yourself and not sweat your ass off like down here in North Carolina. But yeah, that would be more interesting, Pop. Definitely. But they're not talking about a series for that, though. They're talking about doing another movie. But I always felt that would be an interesting concept. Like the Crystal Lake one, I don't really understand it. It's because Mrs. Voorhees was only in that first movie, besides her head in the second one. And yeah, she had her movie, but it's been Jason ever since. I don't know if there's an appetite for a Mrs. Voorhees-centric series. We'll see. I could be totally wrong on this. I like what I like, so I don't know if I have the best pulse of what's going to be popular, but I just think it's just the wrong way to go. I just don't understand what they're doing. But I could see a series around the Sawyers, the town around the Sawyers being very interesting if they could pull that off. But we'll see what they do with the rights. It's an interesting time. It really is. We'll see what happens with that. I'd be interested to see what they do with the Texas Chainsaw. We'll see who gets it. I think it's all going to depend on who gets it. I think Osgood Perkins could do something interesting with it. Glenn Powell's a Texas boy. I didn't know he's into horror. Maybe he is. His production company's looking at it. We'll see. I think there's some cool stuff you could do with it. We'll see who gets it. The filmmaker who gets it will tell me how excited I'll be for it. But yeah, it should be an interesting. See what happens in the next couple of weeks if they finally hammer out the rights to that, and maybe they'll get their heads out of their ass with the Jason universe stuff. We'll see. I don't know. It just seems like they're going about it the wrong way. I think they're really misjudging the room. It should be an easy thing to do, not that difficult, but they seem to be trying to make it harder than it has to be. But that's the end. Oh, yeah, the 13 Ghost backstory is coming soon, and the Welcome to Derry series is coming to HBO Max in October. The prequel to It is hitting HBO Max in September. That looks pretty good, too. It looks interesting.
Another It?
Well, it's a series. It's going to be HBO Max. It's going to be like a prequel before the first movie.
I just want another movie.
Well, you're not getting that. You're getting a prequel series. I can't help you with the movie.
Just buy it and make one.
Sure, yeah. I'll just take a loan out from your pop for, what, $50 million? We'll see if we can get this shit going. Again, thank you all for spending time with us on this Friday night. I will let you know if we can. We'll try to set up a Terrifier watch party for next month. We'll probably do it on a Thursday night, and then we'll live stream Friday. I'm sure we'll be able to work it out, but I will let you know. I'll keep you all in the know on the comings and goings of Horror Talk Live and see if we can make that happen. If Troy can't figure it out, we'll talk to Mr. Dale _A from the Bat and Spider podcast. He'll be more than happy to help, I'm sure. But have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Until next time, we both say
Bye.
bye. There's always that awkwardness at the end.
Yeah, I know. It's like when you're gonna say bye, you have to have it pulled up.
All right. That was a good one.